Hello! Today's live broadcast is brought to you from this place. Not sponsored by Lipton, just drinking it. So, today's been an interesting day. I wish I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my iPhone so I can access my app. Uno momento, please. I mean, I guess you could. I'm wearing pants, but are shorts. So y'all probably won't notice too much of a difference, but I believe I'm gonna have internet set up tomorrow, which is gonna be lovely because I haven't been hurting for internet. I've been using my phone, the mobile hotspot, um, and I've been getting by. So I was able to procrastinate on like picking a service and like researching and looking into the like basically one service that I can get. But anyway, today's been such an interesting day. I'm just curious what's going on with the astrology. And this is the phone that I have all of my astrology on. I think I missed Chino's birthday. I missed Chino's birthday. I was gonna give him one of those like cake bones for dogs. I got him one time. He loved it. So let's see. Chiron 19 Aries, North Node 1 degree Taurus. Jupiter is 8 degrees and 44 minutes Taurus. I think Jupiter is just officially crossed over into my first house because I know somewhere in the 8th degree of Taurus is my ascendant. So maybe that was it. I don't know. Uranus at 21 degrees, Taurus, Mercury at 2 degrees, Cancer, Sun at 6 degrees, Cancer. Venus is 18 Leo, Mars is 22 Leo. They're getting close. Moon is 24 Libra as of now. South Node 1 Scorpio, Pluto 29 retrograde Capricorn. Saturn 7 retrograde Pisces and Neptune 27 Pisces. So I don't know. Hey Sandra, hey Eve. Hello, how are you too? I have the La Fruma on hand. So I'm gonna shuffle some cards. Anyway, today's been such an interesting day. So if y'all see me, y'all will be just as surprised as I am, because I don't know. Like, I've been in a really good mood today. And it's not that I haven't been in a good mood other days. So it's not my mood that's necessarily different today. But for some reason today, I've been feeling extra me, I guess, in a way, less quiet in a way. Like I've cracked a few jokes today. I don't know. It was just like, I guess it was one of those days where I woke up on the right side of the bed. Again, not that I've been on the wrong side of the bed. I don't know if it's the wholeness of Patrick now that I'm not suppressing or repressing certain things, or now that I'm showing up more authentically in some arenas of my life, aka the psychic bear. The psychic bear, like I said, it actually went really well. But anyway, so today was just like a good day. And my uniforms came in today. Today was picture day. It was free professional headshots. And I didn't expect, well, I didn't know if I would want them or not. I was like, I'm probably not going to be able to get my hair done because I'm procrastinating. And I was like, you know what? I'll sign up for them. I can always cancel. And if I don't like them, I don't have to use them. So I ended up doing my professional headshots. My uniforms came in today and I got a jacket. So there were the clothes that I brought to change into for the headshots. And then I got my uniforms in. And I was talking to the lady and I was like, hey, like, how many do we get? Because, and then I had like my hair up for one of them. And I was like, because, I was thinking I want some with like my hair up with like the clothes I brought and then hair up with the uniform. And then I would like to see like hair down with the clothes I brought and hair down with the uniform. And I was the last person. So she was like, yeah, like, and it ended up turning into this whole like almost photo shoot moment. And it was amazing. It was, it was volunteer. So we didn't have to do it. They were just like, hey, like for anyone who wants like a professional headshot or whatever, sign up and you can. So yeah, it was actually, like I said, though, it was really fun. And we were like we ended up bringing somebody else in to like help out with the whole thing. It was such a blast. And yeah. So like I said, if y'all see me out there somewhere, just know that today was an amazing day. And then something else happened today. No, today was just a good day. I was like, okay. And then I went to Planet Fitness and it's been a hot minute since I've been in Planet Fitness. Like my ears were sweating. That's how long it's been. But anyway, while I was at Planet Fitness, Deadliest Catch, her ticket. While I was at Planet Fitness, I went with my aunt today because she's in town. And there was something on, Deadliest Catch was on the TV. And she was talking about like crab. And I was like, I don't really like crab. Like, let the crabs stay where they are. But there was a guy who had a boat. And he was like, I found this. This is what I read off of the closed captioning because I couldn't actually see the TV. I mean, I couldn't hear the TV. I could see it. And it read, he was like, I found this little thing that says hope floats. Here, watch this. And he threw it outside. And he was like, hope sinks like a rock. And he was like, but I put my hope in the Lord and that floats. So, and it was just like, you have to put your hope in the right things in order for it to float, basically, is what he said. And I was like, oh, interesting. So we got some LaFrumas because I didn't feel like I said, LaFruma is immediately available and I didn't feel like grabbing anything else. So we'll see what the LaFruma brings today. And I feel like I have to clarify that, like, obviously at the end of the last video, when I went a little chili peppery and I was like, crystal something, blah, 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 blah. It's like, if you get a crystal to help you speak your truth, eventually you speak your truth, right? If you get something to supplement or to assist you in doing a thing, eventually there comes a point in time where you do the thing, right? Like, that's what it's there for. That's what it's to help you and assist you in doing. Besides, like, grounding or warding off negativity or something like that, then it's like, But anyway, I don't know if it's because of this Neptune transit or what. But it was just very much like, man, we really expect Neptune to do it all, I guess. We expect Neptune to show us the thing and then do it for us. And Anyway, let's clear that out. I just felt like I had to clarify. Who are you? For Lagoo, number 63, empowered. No, embraced and mirrored. Interesting. All right, for Lagoo. Should we get one on the left and one on the right? I feel like I should grab another deck. I was going to use the SKT, the Vitruvian edition. I don't feel like it. All right. What's on this one side of Ophilagu? Oh, no, that's way too many cards. I saw ink. Oh, Flussa and Wackend. Watcher, Animal Totem, and Flussa. And Flow, First Blood. So Watcher, Animal Totem, and Flow on one side of the Ophilagu. What's on the other side of the Ophilagu? I have no clue. I think Neptune is slow. Hey Holly, how you doing? I'm pretty sure Neptune is like slow. I mean, it's far. The farther away a planet is, typically the slower it is. But Neptune has been in late Pisces for a minute. Because I think it was like 2 years ago. Maybe it was last year, where it was like 24 degrees Pisces or something like that. It's 27 degrees Pisces, and then it's retrograding. So, yeah, Neptune is slow. It's slow. Let's see if I can see how slow. Neptune. It's going to cross into Aries in 2025. March 30th, 2025, at approximately 7:01 a.m. Central U.S. In 91 weeks and 5 days, Neptune will cross into Aries, according to this app. So that's how slow Neptune is. Is it going to retrograde back into Pisces? Yep, it's going to retrograde back into Pisces. Oof. Once, and then it'll be in Aries. Yeah. What is on the other side of this snot stankness? I feel like I was thinking of Flussa recently. What's on the other side of this? Oh. Ooh. Lagu's at the bottom of the deck. We got the Ophir Lagu and Lagu. The other side of Ophir Lagu is Nua. So we have the Wackend Flussa embracing, mirroring this Nua. I feel like I should use another deck to clarify. Excuse me. There's a 6410, a 6713, a 63-9, and a 45-9. Bottom of the deck is a 21-3. Wacken and Flussa, this is a very it's the energy of someone who is like moving through a brush of like almost densely packed forest or like bushes. But it's like the forest is alive. This is very almost Taurus when I did all of the soft launch readings, and it was like, don't go waving that sword around or something like that. Because for Taurus, it was like, if you stop waving the machete as you move forward, you'll actually notice that the way is being made for you. Like the plants part themselves. And it's that energy here again, because it feels like as one is walking through this forest, there is the Wackend that is watching the person walking through the forest. And it's like opening all of these ways as that person sort of like moves and navigates towards whatever this newer stuff is. So, man, a deck just popped into my mind. And it's gone. As I was saying that, it made me think of something. I haven't pulled a deck from. I'm gonna grab a deck from each drawer. I got 3 drawers. Maybe I'll grab the Tarot Apocalypsis because I haven't used that in a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Tarot Apocalypsis. Excuse me. And then I'm gonna go for who's in drawer number 2. I'll go for the Whispers of Lord Ganesha because I haven't used that one in a minute. And then I'll go for not the SKT. Oh, it was an angel deck. That's what came to my mind. I'm going for the Angelarium Year 2. Until Pete Moorbacher releases the Angelarium Tarot, which I need to get on the Kickstarter or the GoFundMe for. So, anyway. Excuse me. Ba 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 ba. Boom boom boom. Boom boo doo 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 doo. I'm gonna set you here. Nua. Speaking of angel deck, I think I sent you that video. I might read this book. We'll see. I might read The Whispers of Lord Ganesha. I may not. We'll see. Like I said. I don't know why it made me think of an angel. I'm pretty sure it was an angel deck. As I was talking about the forest watching us. And I guess we're going to go for an Angelarium Year 2 first. So let's get one of these, please. Who was that? Tamiel, Angel of the Unseen. Just flipped over. Oh, well, there you go. We have Zachiel, Angel of Purity at the top, and Barkiel, Angel of Pisces at the bottom. So we have the Angels of Pisces and Purity. Maybe that's why people don't like Neptune and Pisces. It's just like pure, unadulterated Piscean, just like whatever. Barbiel, Angel of Scorpio. Which is interesting because the North Node, or the South Node, hey, Steph, how you doing? Because the South Node is about to transit out of Scorpio. And I talked about how that was Taurus's video, their soft launch reading, which was about, like, again, something being parted for Taurus so that Taurus doesn't have to exert the effort to do whatever. But Taurus wouldn't know that because Taurus is just doing whatever. Scorpios, actually, let me see, because it's in a playlist. I'm going to check the title real quick. I'm on a short leash, so that's why I'm down here. Scorpio, 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 boom. Difficult decisions and bearing what isn't yours to bear. That was Scorpio. Which is interesting because that seems like a fairly collective energy from at least my local collective. Difficult decisions and bearing what isn't yours to bear with Scorpios. Tauruses just don't go waving that sword around. There is Barbiel, Angel of Scorpio. There are times when words fail and action must be taken. When trials beset our lives and no other course of action is available, we have to fight. The nature of this sign is to be an ally, loving in the easy times and harsh when the world demands it. Barbiel is our sword against the darkness. It is our power to strike back when necessary. Now we'll get the whispers of Lord Ganesha first. Random noises, apparently. That's the thing to do. Random noise and singing. But I've been singing for a minute. Maybe it's just like me being hearing my own energy. Maybe not, because I was singing before. But, Anyway. Lord Ganesha. 1 to 2 cards, please. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Mm-hmm. We might have to pick one. Or not. Bottom of the deck is generosity. I don't know Nessendorma. Number 10 was the bottom of the deck. Number 9 is the card that came out. Concentration. I guess what's interesting is that both Nua and Ofalagu are numerological 9s. They add up to 9. And then Flursa Wakand is a 6410. So the only card not sort of matched here is the 13 of Flissa. So let's read the entry, shall we? For number 9, because I love to read. Concentrate. Utilize the tools, resources, and skills that are available to you. Ganesha will support you with inspired ways to solve problems. You can benefit from inventive forces if you can maintain your power and work with awareness and focus. Act consciously with the understanding that applied effort will get you what you want. Know what you are doing and why you are doing it. You need to be focused on a single objective or purpose at this time. You are asked to channel all of your energy, tools, and wherewithal toward this one goal. Commit to the task and eliminate distractions that will take your attention away from what you are trying to realize. Take the time to research other avenues or possible solutions. Keep a practical approach and work at a steady pace. Remain as objective as possible. Consider how you can better interact with the people in your life. It is important to remember to treat others the way you would like to be treated. So utilize your tools, resources, and skills. Be inspired, creative, inventive ways, which is interesting after this action of Barbiel. So Barbiel is like, it's time to stop doing all this and it's time to do something. But Lord Ganesha is like, be creative, be inventive, be considerate in what it is that you do. Nobody fears you anymore. Is that a bad thing? Well, I guess Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved. But, I feel like that was loud. Okay, so... And maybe that's what this is then. Because it does, in my mind's eye, it looks like someone who is moving through the forest. But as they're moving, like things are being cleared out of their way. So it is like an assistive force. It feels like if it does, like if you don't go anywhere, then nothing moves. Hermit was that? Well, I don't know who that was. Someone has come in and like, I'm using OBS, so I could turn this camera on, but it's fine. I mean, sure, I will for a second. Then I'd have to set it up. It's fine. There's a card that came out that crosses. It's mostly on Offerlagu, but there's a little bit on Flusa and a smaller bit on Mua. And it's face down, so I don't know what it is. All right. So it is a time for action. It is a time for creative, inventive action. It is a time to move with purpose, of course. And we'll give it two more. The Ace of Swords came out. And this is the one with all the runes on it. I was like, of course. This card used to come out in the planning stages of Lafuma. Not planning, in the beginning stages of Lafuma. Let's see what cards flipped over in the deck, because there's at least two, I believe. For sure, at least one, but I believe I saw a second. I believe I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm going to just spin that one. Yep, it was just the one. And the one is the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory. All right, Steph. Your daughter's calling to talk to her daughter. So the Six of Wands has made an appearance. And in this Six of Wands, we see some gentlemen carrying the thing that this woman sits on. We see her child. I'm assuming her child there. I love the focus. Sorry. Ace of Swords, Six of Wands. Who is this card that's basically sitting on Offerlagu? Ooh, it's the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is looking like it might be Apollo. I'll have to look him up. Pretty sure it's Apollo, which is interesting because I think Phaeton was his name. That energy of Phaeton sort of crept up a little bit lately, or like recently. Ancient Greek means radiant from the verb meaning to shine. Maybe it isn't. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, one of the sons of Helios. Phaeton is the son of Helios, and out of desire to have his parentage confirmed, travels to the sun god's palace in the east. There he is recognized by his father and asks him for the privilege to drive his chariot for a single day. Despite Helios' fervent warnings and attempts to talk him out of it, counting the numerous dangers he would face in his celestial journey, and reminding Phaeton that only he can control the horses, the boy is not dissuaded and does not change his mind. He is then allowed to take the chariot's reins. His ride is disastrous as he cannot keep a firm grip on the horses. As a result, he drives the chariot too close to the earth, burning it, and too far from it, freezing it. In the end, after many complaints from the stars in the sky to the earth itself, Zeus strikes Phaeton with one of his lightning bolts, killing him instantly. His dead body falls into the river Eridanus, and his sisters, the Heliades, are turned to black poplar trees as they mourn him. So this is Wikipedia, by the way. Phaeton's tale was commonly used to explain why uninhabitable lands on both sides of extremity, such as hot deserts and frozen wastelands, exist, and why certain peoples have darker complexions, while his sisters, amber tears, accounted for the river's rich deposits of amber. Wow! So I guess the folks on the side of the world that he flew close to, yes, I did say Apollo. Yeah, when the sun was too far, maybe the complexion was lighter, and when it was too close, it was darker. Again, they also use it to explain extremes. And Apollo, I'm going to check and make sure, because I'm like 99% sure it's Apollo and not Hermes. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again. I wouldn't be surprised if I am, because who's right all the time? Being right is highly overrated. Even a stopped clock is right twice a day. Apollo, god of healing, oracles, and the arts. Woo! It is Apollo. Okay, cool. So we have Apollo in this O for Lagoon. See, the Six of Wands and the Ace of Swords, it's coming through as this energy of like, it's knowledge that's given to, granted to, bestowed upon the person who has accomplished something. The Six of Wands is a card of accomplishment. And then it's almost like it doesn't even necessarily have to be about like, it's just like it's one of those things that it could be one of those things that's easier, that's taught better through experience than it is by words. Like it could be one of those things where the instructor is like, I can teach you about it all day long, but it won't do you much good, because when you get behind the wheel of the thing, you'll see what I'm talking about. Behind the wheel of that chariot, it takes like to grip the reins. It's more than just like, I need to apply this much force to the reins, or I need to do this, or I need, like when you get behind it and you get a feel for it, because the horse, like the horses are living creatures. And if they really don't want to be tamed, they can throw your whole thing off. Oh, you apply this much force? Okay, well, we'll pull back. Or we'll like just pull even harder. It's living, it's organic, it's constantly in fluid, flux, flow, and motion. But it's one of those, like, as you do more, you just understand more. The more like you get a hang of it, the more of a feel you get for it. The Ace of Swords in this scenario can also be intuitive nudges about like directions to, or like the way in which to go about doing something. Because the concentration card talked about using inventive ways and creative forces, or inventive forces that are present. Because there's something that needs to be done, not necessarily unorthodox, but maybe there's an element of consideration in mind. Like, yes, there is a time where action needs to be taken, and the King of Cups is here, which is gorgeous for this. Yes, it's a time where action needs to be taken, but you also have to consider like the ramifications of your actions. You also have to consider consequences. You also have to consider how other people are going to like receive it. And it's not one of those where you don't do whatever is meant for you to do because you're worried about what other people might think. But if it affects other people, it's important that like they're not negatively impacted, especially when they don't have to be. If there is like a lack of consideration or negligence or something like that, that's not a good enough reason to excuse someone else being negatively impacted. And again, with the Six of Wands, it's almost more like an outcome than you have to go about doing it this way or that way. Right. It's like if people don't want to work with you, then there's going to be nobody to work with. You know what I mean? So your attitude, like if you are stepping into a leadership position or whatever, your attitude might matter. So your whole like I'm the boss and whatever I say goes and you have to do what I say, while you are 1000% correct and they do, they also might not have to work for you. And your attitude could potentially be so stank that all of the like decent, hardworking people that you would want to stick around, they leave because they're valuable and they will be valued in other places as well. And if that's something that they don't have to tolerate, they won't. But anyway, I think that's why the King of Cups is here, because there is that 333. There is that it's an element, it's almost consideration. Like I almost want to say consideration, but it feels so common sense. Almost. And then I don't like this might honestly be like reading this far into it, it feels like when the North Node shifts into Aries and the South Node shifts into Libra. At least that's how it's reading over here. Where it's like, yes, it's for you to take action. Yes, it's for you to do all of those things and be your amazing self and live your life boldly and authentically, but also it's to understand and realize that like you're not the only person alive and that the entirety of the universe, even if the entirety of the universe did revolve around you, there are still other people who matter besides you. Right. But again, it also have that energy of like, it kind of is, I guess. Oh yeah, this is a Wackend. Oh my god, the Watcher. You see Watcher and Wackend, and then it's Santa Claus who's always watching. And Santa Claus rewards good deeds and good actions with presents on Christmas. That's the Nua that meets this Ophilagu. I mean, assuming that that's what's done, it's a mirroring energy. So it's one of those you get what you give types of things. So anyway, but yeah, the King of Cups is the one that has enough of an emotional awareness or enough of a interpersonal integrity to know that if you want a working relationship to go well with other people, you don't screw them over. Or whatever you want, if it deals with other people, there's just like, it's not that there's a right way and a wrong way, but anyway, I don't have to go anymore into it. But yeah, it does feel like it's pulling on this North Node Aries, South Node Libra, especially at a time where a lot of people may be feeling a push or a pull to be more, I guess, independent is the word that comes to mind initially. Self-sufficient, to do the thing that they've been wanting to do. But again, with that South Node Libra, it's not necessarily to forget the fact that, again, like you're not the only person that exists. So anyway, cool. Is that it? The purity of Pisces. I love that. The Knight of Wands set is at the bottom of this deck. the bottom of the tarot apocalypses. Set is a representation of chaos in this. Who is behind Set? The Lovers. Yeah, I don't know if things are about to get chaotic. I guess I kind of wouldn't be. The only reason why I wouldn't be surprised if things get a little chaotic is because there's this energy of it's a time to take action. It's a time where words will fail or may fail, or regardless of if a word is failing. Because, like, let's say that words aren't failing, but words create promises, or words end up being like, I'm going to do this or this is going to happen. Well, then there's still the time of action to fulfill a promise or to bring something about. So that's one reason why it's like to strongly encourage some to take action. But on the other hand, because of Phaeton and the chariot that was too close and too far, because again, it was like that parentage thing. It's like, oh, well, if I am truly the son of Apollo, then I should be able to do the things that Apollo can do, right? So that chariot that Apollo pulls, I should be able to pull. And then maybe it's one of those, oh, like horses, you have to listen to me because I am my father's son. And them horses said, you think we would listen to your daddy if we didn't have to? It's time for you to find out how amazing your father is. And probably the worst way for you. But anyway, we're not going there today because this is a happy, positive reading. Phaeton in the cards in the story had his own redemption that he's been going through. So anyway. But yeah. And with the Six of Wands, it's like the more you do, the more you'll know, the more you'll find out. But again, it could be through sheer accomplishment, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it. It's just like the more hands-on you are in a process, the better you learn it. Especially if you're a hands-on learner. If you're not, then however you engage in that learning. And again, it feels like it's a natural byproduct of something. It isn't something that you necessarily got to go and find in a book or in a scroll or in a wherever. It's just like, you show up and your reward is you get to learn the whatever better. This energy also came up, I believe, in the last reading I did, but it was in the SKT. Because there was like in the SKT, there's the crowned princess who like her wand is stabbed into her leg. And I remember I was like, it reminds me of like an anime where the character gets serious. So they like harm themselves. And I'm not telling anybody to harm themselves. But that energy was there. Apollo was also interesting to come out and to be on Ofurlagu. Okay. So again, Ofurlagu is a meeting point. In the Lafruma, there is the Treadle, I guess there's Elks, Treadle, Stankness, Ofurlagu. And then you can say Hamfereld if you want. I would say Hamfereld after Ofurlagu. For the most part. Sometimes. But Stankness is like the test. The Ofurlagu is like a test that successfully passed. You have the Watcher right here, the one who witnesses the examiner, or the examiner that witnesses the examinee taking the exam. But anyway, this like Flursa Ofurlagu Nua partnered with Apollo is almost quite literally receiving those new, it's just I almost want to say divine inspiration. Maybe it's just, it can be your intuition, it can be discernment, it can be guidance, it can be a nudge to try something a different way. That, again, that creative force, that inventive force, it's here. You're overlapping with Apollo. Apollo is associated with prophecy, with sight, and you're meeting that sight. But, I think sometimes as humans, it can be easy to receive a vision of something and, again, to like just think that it's going to happen because we see the result of it happening. But we don't necessarily always see the thing that leads to its creation. And that thing that leads to its creation could very well be something that you do. The cards are saying that it is. Just because the cards are saying it doesn't mean that it has to be that way for you specifically. These are general. Take them as they resonate, if they resonate, when they resonate. Don't try to force something to fit because you only do yourself a disservice, and you then cause yourself to run around and do all kinds of stuff that wasn't even for you. And who's responsible for that? You are. At least over here you are. If it don't resonate, don't take it. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to say this because it might not resonate. You have the power to choose. You also have hopefully, the ability to face reality. Sometimes there are things that do resonate and we don't want them to. So we act like they don't. But when the world spins and turns, belonging on the bottom of the deck is capacity. What? Capacity to love and belonging are the two cards from the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. These are gorgeous. Capacity to love and belonging. Aww. And then promise of the future is under capacity to love. See, maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe you'll receive the vision and you don't have to do nothing. Maybe that's the promise of the future. But, the card also says capacity to love. So if you in your own personal life would like to experience love at a level that you haven't necessarily, if you would like to experience community, if you would like to feel a sense of belonging in a way that you haven't necessarily felt before, then you might have to in some way increase your capacity to love and increase your capacity for love to basically give or receive love. Because while it's promised, again, it's like I can tell you all day long that I'll give you $1 million, but if you don't actually take it, then don't be coming to me like, but you promised. Yeah, and it was at your doorstep. Hello? I promised and delivered. You didn't accept it. You didn't take it. That's Patrick. The universe isn't whatever. Girl, like I said, use your own intuition, discernment, guidance, knowledge, wisdom. If you would like to better be able to receive whatever you view as whatever, then maybe that falls upon you to at least begin trying or to begin relaxing yourself into being able to do that. Sometimes it's not difficult, especially when we ain't experienced much of anything else. So now we'll get the final one from the Tarot Apocalypsis. Yeah, I was at the psychic fair, and Max was like, "Are you good? Like, do you need a minute? Do you need to like get up or anything?" I was like, "No, I'm good. Like, I'll sit on YouTube for like 6 to 7 hours sometimes, or like 5 to 6 and some change. Like, this is nothing." Plus, also, I was like grounding the energy. You know what I mean? Creating like a space that was hopefully whatever, because that's the kind of weirdo I am. So, Tarot Apocalypsis. Ooh, somebody almost said something. Oh, this one flipped over. Who is it? It's the Emperor. What? Not the cards being like, it's going to be a time to take action. And then the main action taker showing up in the flesh. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups. Almost like the Seven of Cups and the Emperor, because it's this energy again. It's like you get out of it what you put into it. The ability of Ofurlagu to match, the ability of the universe, of the divine, to match anything you do is almost infinite. I say almost infinite because there are, because I don't know. Okay. It's very, very, for being a person, a living person, it's assumed infinite. The ability of the universe, of the divine, to match whatever you put up to the mirror. And it's not necessarily one of those like, you did this for me, but I already did it, so I don't need it. I don't think it's necessarily one of those, because if it's related to something that you've already done, then it'll complement what it is that you've done rather than try to like be a tit for tat replacement. Also, we see the Emperor gripping that Wheel of Fortune, which I love. The Emperor said, oh no, this wheel is turning that way. Cool. The Four of Pentacles is behind that. With the Four of Pentacles behind the Seven of Cups, I would say it's definitely not a time of allowing your imagination to be limited, or allowing your perception or your idea of what's possible to get in the way of you doing whatever it is that you feel called to do. Because things can work out much better than you hoped, dreamed, or planned. And again, with that mirroring Apollo energy, with that mirroring a deity associated with prophecy, associated with sight, it's like receiving a piece. Now, what's interesting, or what is a blurry line in that, is just because it's like we receive the vision of a person doesn't necessarily mean all the time that we have the same ability to not conceptualize it. It's almost like it might not make sense to us if we don't have the same contextualized experiences or knowledge or information, right? Like, let's say that I'm using a deck that I created that you've never seen, and it doesn't follow a system that you've ever witnessed. I can hold the card up and we can look at the exact same image and I can know exactly what it means. But for you, you could be clueless, and we're looking at the same thing. We're sharing the same vision. You know, just because we share the same vision, again, it's just like there are different levels of being able to see like all around it or something going on. Anyway, don't let previous disappointments or whatever limit what what your intuition and discernment is telling you is for you to do. Because again, that's on that Apollo. It's coming in on that Ace of Swords with the Six of Wands. The more you do, the more you accomplish, the more that you know is possible, the less crazy and ridiculous some things sound, right? Like if you were to go back to the year 18, whatever, or whatever year it was, and talk to Alexander Graham Bell, and if he was like, I'm going to come up with a thing that allows us to communicate across like oceans, and we're not going to send any letters, and you're from 2023, you have smartphones in your pocket, and you're like, yeah, a phone, okay. But you know, if you were someone from that time or before, you may be like, oh my gosh, like, what are you talking about? That's impossible. It'll never happen. I don't know. I don't want to say it comes down to, maybe that goes back to the hope thing. Hope can sink like a rock unless you place your hope in something that is for you to place your hope in, too. I think sometimes, I don't want to say when we get desperate, but sometimes when we really, really, really want or feel that we need resolution, we can put a whole bunch of hope and a whole bunch of faith into almost anything that will claim to deliver sometimes, to the point where maybe we how do you say, like, psychosomatose? We can believe it so fervently that it does actually do whatever we think it claims to do until it doesn't. Until your body's like, oh, wait, hold up. No, actually, this isn't working. Or your mind is like, oh, like, those thoughts are coming back. Whoa, what's happening? I did the supplements. If something is supplementary, it is not a substitute. It works with, not in place of. So I've been saying Penamue. All right, Angelarium year twos. There's Penamue again. Penamue was missing for a hot minute. The angel who remembers. There was only the Penamue who was like, huh. So this is mankind. Who came out? Oh my gosh. I think this one came out before. I think the trumpet came out before, though. We don't see the actual trumpet. And it actually came out on this side. Is this the Wackent? Is this the Watcher? Is that why I was like, I don't know why this Watcher has almost been like an angel. Penamue! Look at, you see that? The bottom right there. The Penamue that remembers. I kept seeing this. I put the card back. I put the Angel of Scorpio back right on top of this. And then as I was shuffling it, I kept seeing it. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Nope, I can't. Penamue never showed his face. It was almost certain that a face was present under his silken mask. But what manner of beast or man that lay beneath was a mystery. When there was a death, Penamue would carve the name of the deceased in a stone that was laid above the grave. He said that this made men more like the angels. At night, he walked amongst the graves carrying a light. He wouldn't say why. That was the bottom of the deck, and then at the top is the Gate of Sahakiel. Ooh. Now these, if y'all have been here for a minute, and I mean a hot minute, the Gate of Sahakiel was like, oh my gosh, and there's the trumpet. Ooh, the trumpet is behind Penamue. Because I was pulling these cards up to show you these. Well, actually, I was going to show you this side of it. Ooh. Girl, no matter where you go, cards can always fall onto the floor. But now they're easier to get. I was going to show you this side, but this is the side that came up. I was going to show you, because the Gate of Sahakiel, it's a thing, okay? This is the Penamue that, again, became a thing because it disappeared, and it was only the Penamue that forgot. And as I went to pick that card up, I saw the trumpet right behind Penamue. Ooh, that's the other side. Okay. Our Janky and Crumpet. Ooh. Interesting. This was at the top. No, this was at the bottom like this, because I read the back of Penamue. There we go. Cool. Maybe that's like the signaling of something to open. It's like an announcement when a royal approaches the whatever. And the And the fanfare goes off and the door swing opens slowly and very loudly so that everyone in a 10,000-mile radius can hear that these doors are opening because this person has made a return or this person is about to disembark. Also, very Six of Wands energy. Triumphant returns and departures. Anyways, and then the Lafruma will be last. We'll put the Lafruma back together. I will go about the rest of my day, meaning I will eat something, probably. I ate a wrap before I started this, and I'm like, wow, this lettuce is very crisp. This lettuce is very crunchy. The lettuce with spinach. So it explains so much. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It was like a whole spinach salad. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much spinach in the wrap. Anyway. All right, Lafruma. What say you lastly and foremostly? Ash and towardness. No, Ash and Wordhamer. Ooh. Five golden rings. No. The bottom is ice gripped. There's a lot of cards. 4 cards came out. So first, Gutting came out by itself. Gutting resolve. And then Whackin' came out with Hang True and Anwilla behind it. This, honestly, it's very Serenity Prayer. These 4. Because Whackin' with Hang True and Anwilla, it's very much so that grant me, this is the Serenity Prayer. To awaken to the things that we can change with this resolve, and also to the ones that we can't, I guess, with Anwilla. Because Anwilla, it's almost like a resistance is futile. You can't change this. This is something that is happening. And you can beat your head up against the wall because the universe and the divine will win. Especially when they play to win, If they're not playing to win, then you might. Anyway, that was too many for the last card. Yeah, maybe it's just the time of realizing what is for you to, I don't know. Maybe it's more like directing your efforts. It also feels a little like it's like finishing the thing that you're working on before you start working on something different. Because then you just leave a bunch of things unresolved and unfinished. Or where it may be, maybe that's the Whispers of Lord Ganesha concentration, focus on one thing at a time. I don't know. Anyway, Lafruma, let's try this again. 2 cards at the most, please. I would say in just one. I was thinking just one, but I feel like I might need a little context. Bottom of the deck is Leecha. Guess what card came out? Stankness. This is the test. It's funny that the cards came out oh my gosh, you passed the test. This is what you're a match for. But the final card is oh, you thought it was over? The test is never over. But the test isn't a test in that way. This test is almost again, it's that you get what you give. type of energy. Well, also it isn't. But there's a part of this where it's like, even when it isn't a test, like we still show up, we still like live life, right? So like being a kind and decent human being isn't like a one-off thing necessarily. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, the universe is testing me to be kind and generous and whatever right now. So I'm going to go through my lesson. I'm going to be these things. And then after the test, I'm going to go back to being exactly who and how I was. And it's like, no, that's something that you take with you moving forward throughout the rest of your days. And so again, like it's not a test, but it's this information and it's knowledge that you apply to your life like every day, or you apply to your life in whatever way it integrates into your life. And I think that again, it's playing into that Six of Wands with the Ace of Swords. Like the more hands-on you are with it, the more you just sort of get to know. And then to take that further in this way, the more something becomes like our second nature, and then eventually it becomes our primary nature. But Stankness with Licha and Thorn. Thorn is under Licha. Whoo, this is massive. And then Burston is under Thorn. And Yarna is behind that. So it may be things that you can't get away from, no matter how hard you try. I don't know. It's like if you try to cut the cord. Oh, that literally popped into my mind earlier today because I was looking for a pair of scissors to open a box. And that line from Hercules, the thread won't cut. What's the matter with these scissors? It's because his thread had turned golden. He was no longer mortal, so the fates couldn't decide when his life ends because it doesn't at that point. He is the Phaeton that was successful, but he had to find success in a way that his parents could not tell him. You know, at the beginning of the movie, I was literally singing Hercules the last time I was live. I have found my way, that I have gone the distance. I wish that song was reprised in that movie at the end of the movie. I would love it. Anyway, that's like, you know, he finds out that he's a child of Zeus and he's like, oh my gosh. And then Zeus is like, you know, we wish we could welcome you back to Olympus, but you have to prove yourself to be a hero, like a true hero. And so Hercules goes and trains with Philoctetes, and he does all the heroics, and he's like, you know, his name spreads far and wide, and then he goes back to the temple of Zeus, and Zeus is like, I'm proud of you, like you're doing amazing. And Hercules is like, I'm a hero now. Can I come home? And Zeus is like, you're a hero, but you haven't proven yourself to be a true hero. And then Hercules is like, I've already done all this. What am I supposed to do? And then, you know, throughout the course of the movie, Hercules does the thing that he's supposed to do to get where he was going. And then at that point, the thread can no longer be cut. Now, this isn't necessarily that energy. This feels like it might be more so like someone is like doing a cord cutting ceremony or doing whatever they're doing, and there's still an attachment to the thing because it's entwined. It's not necessarily so easily separable. Maybe because it's like you and it's not somebody else. So you're cutting in the wrong place. Maybe there's another reason. I don't know. Anyway, it's like, this is like a tsunami though, almost. Licha is the emotional bleed. So behind the emotional bleed is this giant portal and then this burst free. But it's almost like it's gushing. And that's what's causing this. Oh, I saw one of those today too. Anyway. Now, I guess this can also be read backwards, where the Licha itself is this opportunity to burst free of it. That's the opportunity to resolve the thing, like the Gutton, rather than just to try to whatever. You have to use the correct approach. But originally, the Stankness with the Licha, it's like the test is whether or not we can truly heal, work through, or resolve certain things. And it's not because the universe is mean and the divine hates you, or because the divine is baiting you with other carrots. But again, there's such an energy of momentum throughout all of this. It's like if you can't handle taking care of a goldfish where all you got to do is sprinkle some fish flakes into the tank a few times a day, how can we give you like a dog? or a horse or another human being or whatever. And again, it plays into that, like the ways in which we are changed forever, potentially, by the things that we like heal from and go through and stuff like that. It's not this one time thing where like, oh, I'm doing it for now. Because if that's the case, it's like you can fall right back into, and again, it's not even falling into a pattern more so than it is something happens in real life, an opportunity comes your way. And you reject it, you overthink it, you overanalyze, you spin out, you do whatever because of whatever is unresolved that like rushes to the surface as soon as that opportunity comes up. And then you try to do whatever to like cut that tie and it doesn't cut. You end up in this exact same position the next time it happens. Because it's something to be woven inside of you. Reworked, rewoven, reparenting yourself, healing the inner child or whatever. You know? It's because there is so much that is for you to come that it would make things I almost want to say unnecessarily difficult, but that feels like very Patrick. The word unduly is popping into my mind, and I don't necessarily know in what context. But yeah, it gives you everything you need to continuously, successfully, and without dependence, or with less and less and less dependence as you move forward, do whatever, and then for it to grow into whatever it's going to be, right? There's a difference between being a hero and being a true hero, because the hero does it for the theatrics. The true hero does it because it's the right thing to do. So, and you can't lie to the divine. You can't lie to spirit. You can't lie to the universe. Because like energy, it's like energy is energy. You know what I mean? You can lie to people. You can lie to yourself to the point where you might actually think you may actually believe the lies you tell you. But there's an alignment in action. There's alignment in deed, which is action, words, thoughts, feelings, like all of that, and the energy. So if there's anything that's out of line, it's almost like it won't pass through the filter. Like, let's say you have like this sized aperture, right? And the wave that you're putting into it is like this. And so it's like if you pass that through the filter, the only thing that's going to pass through is this. All of this is going to get cut out. It's going to get lost. And so then let's say that you're hitting like a 20% in your cycle. So let's say like you're charging a battery. It's going to take a long time for that battery to charge if it's only actually charging 20% of the time. Because the other 80% of the time, it's either too high or it's too low. It doesn't pass through the whatever. That's the Flissa, the portal. Anyway, Flissa is the one, it's like a self-initiation. Or that's how Flissa reads for me. Or that's how Flissa first read for me. Well, it read in a way of like being asked, hey, like, basically, like, is there anything that needs to be changed? Without necessarily explicitly saying, is there anything that needs to be changed? And then it's an opportunity for us to look around and either we go, yeah, actually, this is out of place. Or actually, like, that can be better. And then Flissa gives us the opportunity to go and like do so, or to network and find somebody else who can like fix our plumbing or whatever if we're not a plumber, right? But if we say no, everything's fine, then there's no mechanic, there's no plumber, there's no electrician. Nobody ever comes and does anything because you said it's okay. You said you didn't need it. Right, anyway. And then because of that, it became about self-initiation. So anyway, I hope you have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're meant to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and way you find in a way that is helpful and beneficial to you. I hope that more than anything I could ever hope for you, that you are utilizing your own intuition, discernment, guidance, and wisdom, and that you have the, I want to say, courage or bravery to follow it through. I don't want to say I hope you the self-love to take a chance on you and to get what it is that you're really worth. But I guess I do. Hey, Matt, how you doing? No problem. Interesting times ahead, apparently, girl. And maybe it's one of those things where the universe is going to be like, no. Don't blame me. Don't carrot on a stick me, because you had opportunity. And the only thing carrot on the stick about it was that you didn't follow through with it. That's on you. But I guess, anyway, it's fine. We don't have to go any further. All right, bye. It was nice to see you all. Merry Christmas to all, and to all an amazing night.